Hi guys, back again. Little video today all about my alloys. Now, about 6 months ago, I was looking at taking the standard steel wheels off my van and fitting some uprated alloys. Now, I watched a few videos on YouTube that various people had fitted on their vans and looked at a few advertisements on Google and various sites on eBay, and I actually purchased MSW 48 van alloys. There were a few other types of wheels that I was looking at, but what people don't realise is, although you may have a van that's rated at say 3 tonne or 3.5 tonne, and you assume that as long as my alloy wheels total above the 3.5 tonne, so for example, say you have alloy wheels and they're rated at 900 kilos, so then you've got 1,800 kilos for the two on the back, 1,800 kilos for the front. That's 3,600. Oh, I've got a 3.5 tonne van. I'm well within the limits. But obviously it doesn't work like that. All vans have a chassis plate. Obviously you've got your chassis number, a few other details on there. But they've also got the weight of your axle weights. So they will have the axle weight for the front, axle weight for the back. They'll have the plated weight that the vehicle is allowed to not so much carry, because obviously if it's plated up at 3.5 tonne, you can't put 3.5 tonne in your van. So it'll be plated up 3.5 tonne. That's the total weight of the whole vehicle. Obviously if you get pulled on a weighbridge, when they weigh it, you've got a front axle weight, and obviously your vehicle can't be any heavier than that, and you've got a rear axle weight, and your vehicle can't be heavier than that. But for example, on my Fiat Ducato, my rear axle plated weight is 2,400 kilos. Now, I was looking at some lovely alloys on eBay, and I actually phoned up the garage that was selling them, and it wasn't a little backstreet seller. Trust me, it was a reputable dealer that was actually selling on eBay, and he'd got his own website as well. And I asked about these alloys, and he says, yes, we do them in your PCD and your size. Well, obviously, alloy wheels are suitable for various other vehicles as well. Sometimes you might have to put a little shim in because the centre bore might be a little bit larger than your vehicle, so you put a little shim to make it fit. And a lot of people think, oh yeah, that's okay. The PCD is the same, which is the distance between the nuts, like the studs across the wheel. I can fit them, but as I say, my back axle is plated at 2,400. So if I'd have bought these alloys at 900 kilos, I'm way under what I should have fitted. Now, basically, these MSW 48s, they do two types. They do the MSW 48 and the MSW 48 van. Now, the 48 van are a much higher rating. These are rated at 1,350 kilos per alloy. So obviously, I've got 2,700 kilos that I could stick. Not so much 2,700 kilos that I can stick in the back, but my plated weight is 2.4, and these alloys surpass that. So basically they are approved for my vehicle. So if I had an accident and an assessor came round and noticed the alloys, obviously I've told my insurance about my modification, as you should do, because if you don't tell anybody, if you say, oh yeah, when they ask you your questions, any modifications, the slightest thing is a modification. If you fit extra fog lights, by rights you should tell them, I've put these on. Even if you change the seats, I've changed the seats, so it did have 3 seats, I've put 2 captain seats in. Anything that is a modification to your vehicle, tell them. 9 times out of 10 it won't change the premium. Something like alloys, because obviously they make the vans with alloys anyway, they won't charge you any extra, but you must tell them, because at the end of the day, if you have an accident and you haven't told them, your insurance is void. But also, if you buy these lovely alloy wheels from reputable dealers, but they don't meet the specifications for your vehicle, i.e. it's only 900 kilo load rating, your insurance will be void. You have a bump, you spend a fortune building your van, and then the insurance assessor comes out and says, oh, sorry, you've got no insurance, your insurance is void. You might think, oh yeah, it's only going to affect me, but if you've bumped into somebody else and it was your fault, you've got to pay their damages as well and lose your vehicle. So just be aware. Also, compatible alloys. Mainly the Vauxhall Vivaros, things like that. I'm not sure what the stud pattern is, but I do know you can fit certain BMW alloys. Now obviously if you've got a Vauxhall Vivaro and it's a 3-tonner, or like a T5, VW T5, and you're putting alloys on there, you've got to make sure with car alloys, obviously if you're sticking Range Rover alloys on, they're going to have a significantly high load rating on the wheel, but if you're putting car alloys onto a van, basically they're not designed for it, so you could end up getting stress fractures, things like that, because they're just basically aren't as strong. They might look nice, but at the end of the day they're not as strong unless you get something with a specific high load rating for your vehicle. So always do your research on the sizes as well. For example, the steel wheels that was on my van, you've got your PCD, which is the distance between the bolts where they fit on your van or your car. You've got the size, the outer diameter. You've got the centre bore. I think on the Maxi it's 78 point summit, and on the normal Ducato it's 71 point summit. So if it had been like 1 mil difference, and you can buy wheels that will fit numerous vehicles, but the centre bore's a different size, you can buy a little shim that goes in so as it fits the centre bore, stop it rocking about and vibrating. But then you've also got your offset. Now your offset is the distance from the rear of your wheel when it's mounted to your vehicle to the actual rear of the mounting plate of the wheel. So when you put your wheel on, it bolts up to your hub. It's the distance from the back of there to the back of your wheel. So I'm pretty sure the Fiat Ducato is 68mm, and the alloys that I bought were 55, which obviously means the plate is further back, which means it pushes the alloy out slightly. Obviously you can't go out too far, because if your alloy wheel protrudes your arches, it's an MOT failure. So you've got to start putting bigger arches on. Plus, if it sticks out too far, it puts unnecessary strains on your bearings. It's like sticking spacers on. You can buy a wheel where it doesn't stick out enough. So, like for example, my Fiat was 68, and if I bought some wheels that were 75, the back of the wheel could have fouled the suspension. So you can buy a spacer to move them out. Obviously, some people buy spacers to move the wheels out anyway, so as to stick out on the arches to make them have a nicer stance. Obviously, with a van, you don't want so much about stance of the vehicles. But I say that little difference in the offset, making my tyres and wheels stick out that little bit more, it has had a bit of effect. Mainly, especially with all these storms and the mud and the rubbish on the roads, it does tend to kick a bit of mud up the side of the vehicles. So I do have to watch when I go through a dirty puddle, and if I go over any rough ground, try not to wheel spin any dirt or any mud, because it chucks it all up the arches, along the sills, and and up the side of the van. As you can see, that's the results of going down a muddy lane. It tends to kick up just a little bit of mud up the side of the vehicle. Now, as I say, what else you've got to watch as well? Tyres. You've got to make sure you've got the correct load rating on your tyres. Now, I've gone for these Falcon Wild Peak, and the load rating on these is it all depends on the pressure. Depending on the pressure of the tyre, whether you're running it on a lower pressure or a higher pressure. But the load rating on this is a 115 to 1125, which is suitable for the load rating of the axle. Right, let's just show you this chassis plate. Right, there you go. That's the chassis plate with the weights. Now the top number there, the 3,500. That's the plated weight of the vehicle. Now they do a 4-ton maxi, which obviously, if it was 4-ton, it'd up the train weight, axle weight as well. But obviously you wouldn't be able to drive it on a normal car licence. So this one, although it's a maxi, it's been plated at 3.5 ton. So people who only hold the normal class licence are allowed to drive it. The next figure, the 6,500, that is the total train weight. So obviously, if you're towing a trailer with a little digger on the back, the weight of the trailer and the digger or whatever's on the trailer cannot exceed 3 tons. Then the next one down, where it says number 1, that's the front axle weight. So obviously 2,100 on the front. If I'd have bought those alloys, even if I'd have bought some alloys that was rated at 1,000 kilos, that still would have been underweight. That still wouldn't have had the right load rating. And then the number 2 figure there of the 2,400 kilos. So obviously, when you are buying alloys, double check, make sure, check your load rating, check your axle ratings. There you go, change of scenery. Come inside just to finish this last bit off. Get a little bit cold outside now. Wind's starting to get up as well. So obviously, when you are buying alloys, always double check. Check your chassis plate. Check to see what the load rating is per axle, and then look for the load rating on the alloy wheel. Obviously, better to be safe than sorry. So, as I say, with the wheels that I've purchased on MSWs, they far exceed the the axle weight limits, and it isn't just, oh, exactly, you've got a 3 ton van, you've got a 3.5 ton van. At the end of the day, there are plenty of people selling alloys, and you just got to look around, because at the end of the day, it's your responsibility. They will say whether they fit your vehicle, and they will say whether they are compatible with your stud pattern. They won't tell you whether they have got the correct, well, some will, but a lot of them, as I found when I was trying to buy my alloys, there are a lot of people out there that will say an alloy wheel will fit your van, and that's exactly it. It will fit. It won't be designed for your van. Now, I can thoroughly recommend them MSW 48s. They're cracking alloys, and I actually purchased them from a company in Birmingham. There are a few other people selling them with obviously a 10% discount if you mention a certain code, but I bought these from a company called Wheel Mania in Birmingham. They're based on the Coventry Road in Birmingham. Admittedly, I did have to wait, I think it was 10 days. They're an MSW dealer. MSW are manufactured by a company called Oz, and they're Oz main dealer. Obviously, you can't hold all the stock. Every wheel that they manufacture, you can't hold a set of each, because you need a warehouse the size of Wembley Stadium to hold various sets of alloys. So obviously, if you're interested in a set of them and you phone up Wheel Mania, so I ordered them. I had emails off the company, I had emails off the courier telling me when they was coming, and even if I'd have purchased them, I'm not mentioning any other names, but even if I'd have purchased them off other dealers with a 10% discount, these were actually cheaper. I think it was £450, £480 for all 4 alloys, and then obviously the tyres. I purchased the tyres from my local tyre dealer, which is just up the street from me, a company called Walsall Wood Tyre, and I paid, including fitting and balancing, I think those tyres were £104.95 each. That was with fitting and balancing, and obviously BF Goodrich's, you're looking at £150 a tyre for the same size. Right, thanks for watching the video, guys, especially if you've stayed till the end. If you've got any questions, just stick them down in the comments and I'll answer them as best I can. If you've gained a little bit of information from this video, just click on the thumbs up. It does help. Helps the channel to grow a little bit. Obviously, I haven't got many subscribers. I ain't like any of these with 2,000. I mean, I'm a very, 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 very small channel. I've only got 50-some subscribers at the moment. But if you'd like to subscribe, every little bit helps. Try and get the channel to grow, and then obviously, if you want to follow my progress on the build, as I'm doing various stages of the van, I'll try and upload a few more videos in future. So thanks for watching, guys, and catch you all later. Bye now.